Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Pesterquest. Just woke up from a nap because today, for the first time in a while, pretty much my entire adult life, in fact, I've been working the day shift instead of the night shift for these past couple weeks. So I get home this afternoon and I suddenly remember, oh yeah, there's Pesterquest today, because there has not been Pesterquest in a couple weeks, and also it's coming out Wednesdays now instead of Fridays, like the Friend Sim did. And it's all very weird and just completely threw me off. And I was like, all right, Pesterquest. And I was like, okay, good. I'm gonna do that. Put it out there that yeah, I'm gonna do that stream, and then decided to go take a nap because freaking I was tired. I've been up all day. I am never up all day when I stream. Usually when I've been streaming the Friend Sims, I always stream like a couple of hours after I wake up because that's when I wake up. But today, I decided to take a nap, so I would be good and fresh and ready for this stream. And as soon as I laid down to take a nap, my cat climbed up onto my stomach, curled up, got himself tangled in my bed sheets, and just got himself wrapped up in this little burrito and just fell asleep in a little burrito on my legs. And that's where he was until about 5 minutes before I had to start streaming. And like the whole time I was like, I hope you move before I have to wake up because this is too fucking adorable for me to move you. Anyway, but enough of my cat story. It's time for this dog story. So let's turn the game volume back on. There we go. And let us begin. All right. Volume select. The lonely. Oh no, this is gonna be sad, isn't it? The loneliest girl in the world. I'm not ready. All of a sudden, I feel like I'm not ready for this. Well, let us begin. It's been days and days, and your stomach still hasn't recovered from Olive Garden. But you can't spend forever moping around. There are friends to make, damn it. Well, just one left in this set. This set? Huh, interesting. Her name is Jade Harley, and though all three of your new pals consider themselves good friends with her, they know strikingly little about her life. The most you have gleaned is that she lives in a mysterious island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean with her grandfather and some uncommon breed of dog. Their communication with her has been limited to internet messages and packages sent to a P.O. box in some podunk town called Haunt Switch. Oh, it would be! Oh, yeah, that's right! I completely forgot that Haunt Switch was like the actual name of the town. Where Grandpa Harley lived when he was still, living with June and June. And what? No, not June. Jude. No, wait. June is Jude and crap. Blanking on her name all of a sudden. Anyway, Joey. That was it. Thank you. Jude and Joey. Which frankly means they've been saying all of their stuff to which is interesting because that implies that that for all this time, the main point of contact for the kids has been a P.O. box like spitting distance from Rose's house, of all places. So how about that? Too many J names? No freaking kidding. Also, I really like this music, by the way. This music's poppin'. It's like a little remix of the fanfare theme. Anyway, their communication with her has been limited to a P.O. box in some podunk town called Haunt Switch, where you just were because you visited Rose 2 routes ago, but never mind. John said he would message her and see if she could provide an address, but you don't want to wait. Throwing yourself headlong into friendship has always worked for you. Are you just going to teleport to a P.O. box and wait there? Are you just going to, squeeze yourself into a P.O. box? You are, aren't you? Oh, no, never mind. You close your eyes, think islandy thoughts, and hope it works. Okay. Can't see how this could go wrong. But something strange happens as you channel your powers. A loud bark echoes somewhere in the distance, and nuclear green energy sparks in the air around you. Is this a beacon or a warning from Beck? You catch a split-second glimpse of a massive green sun, and then you hit the ground on your hands and knees. The whole event can't have taken more than a second or two. You blink and focus your vision. You're inside a room. The floor is smooth and white, and disrupting the monotony in front of you is a set of similarly white paws attached to a Lucius. You mean an animal. You slowly stagger up and look him over. I mean, yeah, this is like... I know this is another sign of the, of MSPA reader kind of sort of getting their memories back from Alternia, but to be fair to them, Beck is by far the most Lucius-like dog in all of dogdom. So the mistake is actually fairly easy. Anyway. He is a very large and fluffy dog, his snout held up high. A long green tongue hangs from his open mouth as he pants lightly, and the air around him crackles with electricity, making the fur on his back stand on end. Something about him feels so familiar to you. Familiar twice over. His flugging regal form reminds you of a warmth you once knew. Those neon sparks fill your stomach with dread. Nice. At the very least, he seems friendly. He leans in and drags his rough tongue along your cheek, leaving it tingling. His tail wags swiftly back and forth, and he keeps nosing at you. He seems fascinated. Aw, good boy. Best friend. Okay, now I have to actually give a voice to Jade. Beck, down, boy! Yes. First thing Jade does, points a rifle at your face. I don't like it. This is... Is this friendly demeanor of his that leaves you shocked when he moves aside and you find yourself staring down the barrel of a rifle? It is held aloft by a bespectacled young girl in a sensible skirt who really has no business pointing such a big fucking gun at you. Okay, please don't panic and don't make any sudden moves. I've never shot a living being before, and it would make me very sad if I had to start now. Oh. Wait, then what has she been shooting this whole time? Well, I suppose she shot back plenty of times, but... what has she been shooting, if not, I suppose, yeah, probably just Beck. Oh, okay, so this is happening now. Is this Jade? She doesn't sound like Jade, based on what John told you. She looks more like a Gigi. Anyway, or maybe a Lynn? Is this like a reference to like some joke about what her name was going to be before she showed up? Right, the gun! Don't get sidetracked. You slowly raise your hands in surrender and try to put on your most inoffensive expression. You tell her that if she started shooting living beings, you would be pretty sad too. So why doesn't she put the gun down and... No way! I don't want to shoot you, but you are clearly a dangerous and unpredictable being, and I need to make sure I stay safe. My grandpa taught me a lot about gun safety and trigger discipline in case anything bad ever happened to me. I mean... True, but his main way of treating her about gun safety was just as being an exemplar of what not to do, but, you know. I mean, yeah, I got the joke about him naming her GG, as in like GG, like garden Gnostic. That like Lynn was like Lynn a name people thought she might have before she was introduced. Anyway, yeah, that's moving on. So I know that good trigger discipline means keeping your finger on the trigger at all times in case you need to blow something to bits. Sure. Yep, that sounds like a lesson Grandpa would teach. Oh, fuck. Now let me make things clear to you. I'm a very clever girl, and you won't be able to fool me as easily as you fooled the others. It's very obviously to me what you've been doing, and I know you would eventually show up if I waited long enough. Sure enough, John messaged me not long ago to let me know you wanted to visit And so I prepared myself for your arrival. You come to interfere with our lives, and now I want to know why. So you better start talking now, okay? Just love how, like... It's like... You don't really want to see this expression on somebody's face when they have a gun pointed at you. I'm just saying. Like having somebody point a gun at your face and, like, look at you menacingly, you know, that's one kind of scary. This is an entirely different breed of scary, and a much scarier type of scary, in my humble opinion. Actually, yeah. Yeah, Rose had violet eyes too in this art style. I'm trying to remember. It's been like a month, so I'm trying to remember if like this art style showed John and Rose with their canon art eye color. And I'm pretty sure they did, but like with it's like I'm running through every J name in this fucking game in this fucking series before I can land on Jade. Yeah, it showed Rose. Rose had violet eyes. But anyway, with Jade, with her eyes, you know, the bright green eyes are just very, very noticeable. And yeah, Dave's eyes were covered, of course, so we never saw him. Although they did comment about his red eyes in the text. Okay, you say. So what does she want to talk about? You're well versed on a variety of eclectic subjects, so you can go on about basically anything: wrestling, postmodern art, controversial opinions on traditional jurisprudence. This is going to be another done expression for my growing collection. But you get the feeling that this is an interrogation, and you really have no idea what she's interrogating you over. Yeah, it's like about 1/5 of the emotes on my Discord server are just expressions of characters being fucking done. and now I want this one too. That's a very likely story. That can put two and two together pretty easily, you know. You've never shown up in any of my dreams before, and now none of those dreams are coming to pass. Not to mention that I don't even see Prospect when I go to sleep anymore. Oh yeah, that's gotta be like we expected Beck to have some kind of crazy reaction to whatever the fuck. Cat, what are you? Hi, kid. Do you want a toy? Where did I put your toy? We expected Beck to have some sort of crazy reaction to everything that's been happening since Piece of First Guardian and all, but, like, you know, Jade's been wrapped up in the future of her adventure for her entire life. You know, she's been dreaming on Prospect since before anybody else even knew what that was. So the fact that she's suddenly been shunted into this weird not doomed timeline has got to be all sorts of weird for her. And Prospect was her entire social life too, so like, ugh. Anyway, I'm gonna take a quick look at the background. While we're talking here, it's still really fun to see all of the characters' houses done up in this art style. Oh look, there's the Mega Base, which you can only play as Robot Jade. And that can only mean that you have derailed the forces of fate. You destroyed John's copy of Spurb, and somehow that changed everything. Not only could John not begin the game, none of us could, and none of the meteors hit like they were supposed to. It's like the universe changed its very fabric to bend to your evil whims. Well, evil, no, but she's right. That is probably the most astute assessment of this situation you could possibly get. Whoa, evil? That's a little harsh. You'll cop to stupid, but evil is way too much. Don't play dumb with me. It's like, we really don't have to. What else could motivate you to stop us from fulfilling our destiny as heroes? Heroes? John and his friends are very nice, but they don't exactly strike you as heroes. Oh, come on. Come on. That's because you don't know them like I know them. You haven't seen the shrines on Prospect, or heard stories from the Queen, or seen him in the clouds growing into brave and wonderful or seen them in the clouds growing into brave and wonderful people. And now I'm beginning to suspect that those things will never come to pass. Well, yes and no. John's birthday came and passed without any fanfare, except for him supposedly befriending a strange mailman. And that day the internet was full of people complaining that their beta copies of Spur weren't working. There was a huge scandal with the company. A little while later, I found out that this mailman was talking with Rose and had magical powers. I know a thing or two about magical powers, or at least powers which seem to be magical to those who haven't studied their logical sources. But yours are totally different from anything I've seen. At first I thought you must be an advanced Dursite agent come to sabotage us. Hi, Cat. Yeah, Cat, I'm gonna need you to move away from the mic before you unplug something. Ah. But you definitely aren't from Durs. Definitely not. Maybe a Prospectin double agent? I also consider the weird trolls who keep pestering me. But they've been weirdly quiet lately, and you don't really give me that vibe. Oh yeah, that's another thing about the thing, is that now that we're in this weird timeline, it's probably screwed up their trolling client's ability to talk to these guys. At least until we go to Alternia and line them up with this. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is it's funny, this is the first mention of trolls. And it's kind of fitting because even in Homestuck proper, the first mention of trolls came from Jade too. And obviously you're not human. Whoa, hang on. You are a human, right? She lifts her head and gives you a little, really? Kind of gives you a little, really, kind of look, and your stomach twists into knots. I love this art style so much. The more I look at you, the more I think you're like, the more I start to think you're like, how do I explain this? Okay, you know what a furry is? No, Jade, tell me more. By all means, tell me more. Wow, okay, that question is more loaded in her gun. Yes? Alright, so a lot of artists I follow do Yits commissions, and you remind me of one of those. Does that make sense? What's a Yitch commission? You have no idea what a Yitch is, you cautiously ask her. It stands for your character here. Oh, okay. Okay. It stands for your character here. Basically, an artist will draw a pose or scenario, but instead of putting an actual character, they will leave a blank outline, like a mannequin. You pay them to put your character there. And when I look at you, I feel like I'm looking at one of those blank spaces. That's actually a remarkably apt expression. Idea. Implication. My intuition doesn't tell me anything about you, and you've never shown up in my dreams. You're like my best friend Beck over here. A complete wild card, something I can't figure out. Which brings me back to my point. She had almost let her gun drop, and you had almost forgotten she was holding it, but she hefts it back up to point it at you and steals her gaze. You're going to tell me why you came here and did what you did. And you're going to help fix it? Do we want to do that, though? That rifle is really starting to bother you. Okay. Feels like it's taken us a long time to get to this first choice. Jade is very perceptive. Well, it also helps that she, like, actually has some idea of what in the fuck is going on. She is legit the only one who really knows how things are. She is the only one here who has any inkling how things are supposed to go. And so, she's the only one here who knows that things are not going the way they are supposed to go. Like Rose had some idea that things are a little off. Like Rose and Dave, both of them, I suppose, in their own way. They both had some sense that things were a little off just because of their natural instincts as light and time players. But Jade is the only one who has, like, information at her disposal. Like, she can look at a spreadsheet and say, something is very wrong. What are we doing? Anyway. First choice. After, like, a freaking 20 minutes of talking. We're gonna go with this one because it's probably wrong. You can't let a good opportunity slip between you and between your fingers again. You need to disarm her before she actually accidentally blows you to smithereens, and then we accidentally cause her to pull the trigger and we die. Please, I really hope this game over stream is just like a bloody mess on a wall. There must be something else that will get her guard down. Or Beck will just turn us inside, flip us inside out for trying to get too close to Jade. You ask about her grandfather, the one who taught her about guns? He must surely be a reasonable and mature man. Perhaps it might be best to bring him into the discussion. You could sit down, have tea, drop the gun. I don't know. Grandpa does love his tea time with guests, but he's dead. Usually conversations with him are pretty one-sided. God, every expression. Freaking adorable. This is so anime, it's beautiful. Oh, is he that stubborn? Well, yes. He's a pretty obstinate man, and a total blowhard. But as well, you may find him difficult to talk to on account of the fact that he's also a stuffed corpse. Oh, cool, that's cool, that checks out. This is fun, everything's fine. You love guest starring in the goddamn Hitchcock movie. There, hang on. I don't have enough room to spin around like the mom at the end of Psycho. Otherwise, I totally would right now. This girl is clearly too unstable to be reasoned with. Need to disarm her in pronto. You steer the topic away from the grandfather she surely murdered, and wait for another lull in the conversation. Wrong suspect, MSPA reader. When her eyes start to wander and her grip slackens, you spring forward and reach for the rifle. She shrieks and goes for the trigger, but before she can fire, an ear-splitting bark rings in your ears and the world explodes into neon light. You feel weightless and empty, cocooned in bitter cold. For half a second, you think you've just got Avada Kedavra, but then you glance around and see the stars. An iridescent light show twinkling all around you, painting the vast expanse with beaded glimmers. It is transcendent. It is beautiful. You are at peace. Or maybe that's just the asphyxiation talking. Beck just bamfed us out into space. I love it. Space junked. People are pointing out, technically Jade did fire the gun that killed her grandpa. I mean, technically. That is true, but there is a hell of an asterisk at the end of that statement. Two of them, really. And then we can't breathe. Yeah, we're in the meteors. Yeah, it's like we're in the same spot. It's like we're probably in the exact same spot where, it's like, remember there was that one Flash animation where, Beck bamfed all of Jade's junk into space while he was getting ready for her to enter. We're probably in that exact same spot right now. The exact same coordinates in space. Okay. Keep calm and carry on. Alright. Alright. Pretty much everyone except John has called you on your bullshit thus far. which really says something about John, but, you know, never mind. So you may as well give her the full confession. You absolutely did change the course of reality, but it was the result of a genuine fuck-up, not ill intent. Take another look at Jade's room when you reload. What about it? I mean, one interesting thing is, now that you mention it, it is a little weird that the fourth wall is over there. Like here. Like, that's the one thing that's sort of out of place, is that is that, like, normally the fourth wall was hiding in the attic. Some of those posters are neat, I guess. Got like a pony fairy and a cat samurai. Which I think isn't cat samurai an actual thing? But yeah, the fourth wall is interesting. That's right there, as opposed to hiding in the attic. Or void gate, whatever. It's kind of a long story, but you relate to it as best as you can. Your strange lack of memory, an encounter with a bizarre and magical artifact, the way you blundered into John's life and destroyed his mail as a result of your highly relatable social anxiety. The girl listens intently as you explain what brought you here, and then you offer an apology. You think that you may have irreversibly altered the very fabric that threads your cosmos together. There's probably no way of putting things back like they were and letting this lady go with her golden dream quest, or whatever she was blathering about while you were distracted by her very deadly gun. Okay. You sound very sincere, and I'd like to believe you. So I'll take you at your word for now. Whatever shenanigans you involved yourself in, I trust that you did not intend to cause any problems. That's awfully nice of you. Let's put all this ugly business behind us. The girl holsters her rifle. Oh god, like her hair. It's like. What the fuck happened to her hair? The girl holsters her rifle and you breathe a long sigh of relief. Sorry about all that. I promise I only had the best intentions. She has so much hair. It's cool, you tell her. You get the distinct feeling you've dealt with much worse. It's 13 years of not getting a haircut. Yeah. Oh, look. Oh, star eyes. Yeah, I'd imagine a space hopper like you has been to all sorts of cool and dangerous places. I'm kind of jealous, really. But anyway, we never properly introduced ourselves. My name is Jade, and my dog's name is Becuriel. What's yours? Huh. You know, you think this is the first time you've been asked for your name? Ever? You almost forgot you had one. You tell Jade your name. Huh. That's a very unique sounding name. I like it. Oh, of course they're gonna blue balls us like that. You tell Jade that you like her name too, and she beams at you. Oh, smile. She's so cute. Thank you. I'm so glad my grandpa gave me this name. It's so pretty and fairly unique, and just very likable. Anyway, why don't I show you around? I can give you a tour of the house, and we can get to know each other a little better. Trying to talk about how to pronounce Beck's name? Becquerel. Becquerel? Becquerel? I don't know. Yeah, Becquerel is probably more correct. Well, that sounds great. You're an expert in taking tours of other people's houses, which makes sense since you didn't exactly have your own. Jade stares sadly at you. I'm very sorry to hear that. Nah, that's cool. You have magic now, so the trade-off is probably pretty fair. Right. Well, this, of course, is my room. As you can see, I have a ton of pretty posters. This is my favorite. It was a gift from Dave, and I love it to pieces, even though it's honestly pretty dumb-looking. That's the point. She gestures at a poster of Dave's webcomic guys with animal attributes scrolled onto them. Right over there. Most of the other posters also feature anthropomorphic fauna, drawn with significantly more finesse. It all gives you a very furry vibe. Not in a bad way, you clarify. Her lips twitch in irritation, and it occurs to you that people are probably constantly either clowning on her for liking furry stuff, or reassuring her that they aren't about to clown her for liking furry stuff. I wonder if we're going to get a bad route where we try to, we're probably going to get a bad route where we dig into Jade's furriness. Well, they don't actually dress up in suits or any of that nonsense. But they really love animals. I think it's fun to imagine what it would be like to be one. Which is why I own so many animal toys. Like the Manthro chaps, who are very silly but dignified fellows who are part animal and part Victorian area gentlemen. Gentle sir. Jade gestures to a pile in the corner, heaped high with plushies and dolls of all sorts. Many of them look like man-animal abominations with curly mustaches. Others feature bright and puffy squid-like features. Is the Cat Samurai someone we know? I mean, it's like, they look vaguely familiar, but doesn't ring a bell. It's like, I mean, they look like Nepeta, kind of, but I don't know. But, like, that's just them being, you know, a cat. Hi, Giddy. Chris? Furry Chris? You think? I mean, I kind of see it. Yeah, I mean... The cat... It's like people in chat are saying that, that the Cat Samurai is Chris from Deltarune, just as a furry, which... If you say so, but the fact that we can see their eyes kind of throws that whole thing off for me. Yeah, anyway. Jade gestures to feeders. Oh, these are my squiddles. They are based off of a cartoon show. Rose says it's a bad show, but I don't believe her. Jade fishes through the toy box and retrieves a dark bluish-black toy. That was a nice little way. That was a nice little. Hang on, let's back up. It's like they've gotten really a lot better in this game about like using the sprites in a way to like convey motion. You know, because like there was this little thing with Jade, and then there was also you had Dave pacing back and forth in his room. That was a very nice little animation, quote unquote, that they were able to do with the sprites. Yeah, they've really gotten better at this since the Friendsim days. Jay fishes through the toy pile and retrieves a dark bluish-black toy. This one is Inkabelle. She's my favorite. In one episode, she gets lost in the murky brine swallows and spends years completely alone, lost without any of her friends. Oh, God. Cries in Homestuck. But in the end, her friend Podlight tracks her down and saves her. It seemed so bleak the first time I watched it that I literally cried when I realized in the end that it was a very poignant tale. Jade smiles wistfully down at the plushie in her hand. She glances from it to another one of the Squiddle dolls and her expression tightens. She squeezes the doll just a little too hard, causing a horrendous pitchy squeak. I guess in retrospect that was pretty silly though. I mean, it was just a kid's show. Oh, yeah. Yeah, just a kid's show, and not at all something you yourself experienced in another timeline, which was horrible and sad, and something that never got fixed, even in the retcon timeline. Well, actually, no, that was a problem that was caused by the retcon timeline, and that was something that never really got made better in any tangible way. Anyway, of course there was going to be a happy ending. That's how those always work, right? Jade's still smiling as she tosses the doll into her bed, but she puts so much force into the throw that it goes careening off the edge with a wheeze. You hear it plop in the floor and magnetize itself to another squiddle. Its voice box lets out a weak little "yay." It's like that was a cute little animation there. Jade stands up and brushes off her skirt. Her eyes fall to her bedspread, which features a striking cloud design. She sighs slowly and then assumes a bright smile once more. Anyways, let's go explore the rest of the house, shall we? I've got so much more to show you, and you'll never see Prospect again. It is... Oh, is that what you're thinking about right now? I bet that's what... Oh. Yeah, I bet that's what she's thinking about, looking at the bedspread, is that she's never going to see those clouds again. And that's kind of sad, even though thus far this timeline is proving to be a much gentler one than the real one. Jade hikes up her skirt and skitters down the spiral staircase 2 steps at a time. You're a little interested in the high-tech devices laying on the workbench near her bed, and a glowing green crystal that you think is literally uranium. But Jade's already gone, and you tear your eyes away and follow. And yes, it is literally uranium. For the Taylor Swift rabbit doll. Not Taylor Swift. Taylor whatever. From Armageddon. Liv Taylor, that was it. Thank you. Thank you, Brain. The landing below her room is small and cylindrical, and features only a gray closet-looking device and a platform on the floor. My room is at the top of a tower, but this transportalizer will take us to the garden quick and easy. Catching a thing. Oh, yeah, there is a total Rapunzel vibe from Jade in this time in her life. That is true. Alright, we got bullshit retcon powers, so we can just break everything and warp to Prospit if we want. That's it. Liv Taylor. Yeah. My room is at the top of the tower, but this transportalizer will take us to the garden quick and easy. What? She hops on and disappears in a flash of green light. You're a little nonplussed, but you've seen weirder. Hell, you've done weirder. You step onto the platform, hear a light click beneath your feet, and in an instant you're standing in a lush garden atrium. There are exotic plants as far as the eye can see, ranging from psychedelic floral arrangements to tropical fronds to fruits and vegetables. Tall windows blanket the halls and allow sunlight to stream in, and said gardens are coated in a streamy mist. You feel like you just got clotheslined by a rainforest. It's beautiful, right? Jade opens her arms and spins around, gesturing to her various gardening stations. You nod. It really is. Here in the garden, let's play a game. Gardening is another one of my favorite hobbies. It's a great way to get your hands dirty and do some real work. And the end result is very vibrant and beautiful. And adult Roxy was also in on stealing Jade's pumpkins. Yep. Jade waves her rough and calloused hands at you, and then strokes her fingers along the pinkish petals of an. It's like people are talking about pumpkins in chat, and I got pumpkins on my mind. People are triggered by what I just said, by what I tried to sing earlier. You're welcome. You're welcome, chat. Jay waves her rough and cow's hands at you, and then strokes her fingers along the pinkish petal of an enemy, and hums a little tune towards it. One of its leaves seems to curl towards her touch. When Jade pulls away, she skips towards one of the windows and motions for you to follow her. It's a beautiful island vista that awaits your gaze. To your left is a towering mountain that might just be a volcano, and ahead of you is a small bay filled with giant lily pads and an old mossy temple. Hey, you can kind of see the volcano in the background there. Nice. Beyond the island, the sea stretches out to a shimmering horizon. Past the boundary line, the entire world awaits, ever out of reach. This is my home. This entire island belongs to me, Beck, and my grandpa. It's a very peaceful place. The greenery is so lovely, and the bay is very fun to take a dip in. Makes sense that it makes sense that the plants love Jade because she's a space player. That is true. This is kind of her thing. There's some mysterious ruins down there, too. I've always been very curious about them, but Beck won't let me visit them. I guess he thinks they're too dangerous? Grandpa's been in there plenty of times before, though. Could her grandpa give her a supervised tour? Oh, Grandpa doesn't really move much anymore. He spends all of his time having tea parties in the foyer. Lol. He's quite old, then? You could say that. Jade wanders away from the window and towards another one, whose view is exclusively centered on the rolling blue. She presses a hand against the misty pane and sighs. You know, Dave talks a lot about coming to visit me here. I mean, all of my friends do, but Dave especially. In his usual Davey way, of course, which means making lots of jokes and not sounding very serious about it. Oh. You know, it's... You know, it's... Yeah, I'm itching to put on my safari hat. Yeah, I'm itching to put on my safari hat and come traipsing down to Doom Death Archipelago to get my ass murdered by Infinidog the Eldritch Retriever. Stuff like that. I know where he really means it, though. He wants to see me, just like I want to see him. It's just wishful thinking. He doesn't know where this island is. Even I don't know where it is. All deliveries here go through some company P.O. box my grandpa set up before he died, and it's not marked on any maps. Because this is a special island with all kinds of important secrets on it, I guess. Or, it was special. I was special. Not anymore. Now I'm just a regular girl, stuck alone on this dumb island for the rest of my stupid life. Whoa. Ooh, oh dear. Okay. So this is a problem I probably should have seen company, is that kind of the only thing holding Jade together through these years and years of isolation has been the promise of going on this great adventure with her friends. And we just ripped that away. So, yeah, let's go to Olive Garden. Let's go to Olive Garden, people. Oh, you asked Jade if she's feeling alright. Yeah, totally fine. Just peachy. Thanks for asking. Come on, let's keep up with the tour. There's no time for dilly-dallying. Dilly-dally, shilly-shally. My grandpa's collection rooms are up next. The first one is full of his big game hunting trophies. I never shoot an innocent animal. I think the trophies are pretty hideous. What? Interesting. Okay. I don't remember Jade ever being, like, particularly much of a pacifist. So I wonder if this is, like, an intentional connection between her and Joey that they're trying to draw, or if they literally just forgot that Joey and Jade are two different people, and just sort of like, and accidentally retrofitted a few of Joey's qualities onto Jade here. We'll have to. I'm gonna wait and see where this goes, but this is an interesting thing. You know, I never really got the sense that Jade was bothered by her grandpa's big game hunting the way Joey was. But I do have to admire his great work stuffing them, I guess. It's really hard to properly stuff and mount something, trust me. Oh, that's grim. It's a little grim right there. And he has some cooler stuff in the lower floors, like all those badass knight statues. Okay, so she does actually mention not wanting to shoot animals in Act 3. Okay, so it is something. But anyway, that is a nice little connection between her and her half-sister, Joey. Or these, faded blue pointlets of pretty ladies? Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Most of Grandpa's collection stinks. But I think what is important is that what it all represents to him. He's been on all sorts of incredible, amazing adventures, and he has this huge array of interesting things to show for it. You tell Jade that her grandpa sounds like a hell of a guy. He sure is. Back when I was little, he used to go on trips all over the world and come back with so many interesting stories and new souvenirs. I was so awed, and I guess a little jealous too. Sometimes he would be gone for days or even weeks at a time, and it would just be me and Beck holding down the fort. I was always so happy when he came back. I listened to his tales without making a single peep. But he never asked me if I wanted to come along on an adventure, no matter how obvious it was that I did. I guess that's just the way of life for adventuring folk. There's no time to be tied down, even by the people you love. They can stay at home and wait for you to come back. That's how it was for my grandpa, at least. What about you? You're an adventurer too. You visited all my friends, and you've surely been to other awesome spots around the globe. So, I bet you've left someone waiting for you too, haven't you? Frost floods your veins and nettles in your heart with a burning chill, for reasons that you don't quite understand. Jade tilts her head and bores into you with wide, curious eyes. One of her hands is balled up into a fist, and both of them are trembling as she watches you. Huh. Jeez, you're gonna have to coach another kid through parental issues, aren't you? You swallow down your sudden anxiety, force a smile, and remind Jade that you're suffering amnesia. Jake is an asshole. Yeah, he is. Alright. Well, it's just this feeling I get when... Alright, well, it's just this feeling I get, you know? I have great intuition. When she smiles, the corner of her mouth twitches. It's now or never. Would she like to talk? I said I'm fine. There's nothing to talk about. Unless you want to talk about, some of these flowers? Isn't this one such a lovely yellow? Surely there's nothing wrong with a good feelings jam, right? Jade's an expressive, empathetic girl. Feeling jams should be her thing. You think that, but she's still steadfastly ignoring you. Hey now, what about this orange with a goofy face on it? Why don't we boggle at that for a while? Jade, something's wrong. You need to talk this out. That's what you do. You're a talker, so why don't you two... Oh my god, just shut up! Please just shut your stupid fucking mouth! Oh. Whoa. Of course something is wrong, and that something's you! Whoa, okay. Oh. We haven't even gotten to a choice yet, and already things are getting heated. I mean, the big choice. Like, we got through the small, quick choice, but we haven't even gotten to, like, the big choice of the route, and already things are this heated. Oh. I'm gonna need more water for this route? Jesus. Ooh. Oh. I'm glad to see my oh no when I saw the route name was well founded. Jade's always had a temper on it. So yeah, she has. It's like, well, like, yeah, Jade is very much probably, like, of all the characters, or at least of all of the beta kids, Jade has always been like the beware the nice ones type of character, where she doesn't get mad often. And that's how you know that you're in deep shit when she does get mad. Ugh. Okay. There's a long pause. Jade stands there, her eyes wide, shocked at her own outburst. She wipes a tear from her cheek, takes a shapy gulp, and sprints back up the stairs. Oof. That didn't work. You stand there for a while, feeling like a tender AAA grade jackass steak with baked douchebag potatoes on the side. Then you sigh and steel yourself and make the trek back up to her room. Jade is nowhere to be seen. Beck is pawing clumsily a large, suspiciously jade-shaped lump beneath the covers of her bed. You clear your... Isn't this music from Undertale? This sounds like the music around Napstablook's house. You clear your throat and ask her softly if she wants to talk. It's cool, you say. You listen to teen drama all the time, and this is some pretty choice drama. Not that you like the drama, you clarify. You just kind of exist in the periphery of it constantly. You're like a drama magnet. There's a long pause, and you're about to turn and leave when she pulls the covers off and turns to you. Her eyes are all puffy and red. Hey. Hey. I'm sorry I yelled at you. It's not really your fault. I mean, it kind of is, but you didn't know you were messing anything up. It's not fair to me to be pissed at you. It's just... none of this is fair at all. Yeah, that sounds like life, alright. You sit down to bed and tell her to vent about it. It's okay, you can take it. Yeah, it's mostly just the instruments that make it sound like the Napstablook snail theme. Okay. Have you ever spent your whole life waiting for something to happen and then it didn't? Well, your memory is pretty fuzzy right now, so you can't say you have. But you think you understand a similar sense of yearning? Good God, have you yearned. Yearning is a good word for it, yeah. Let me try to explain. When I went to sleep, I would see this beautiful golden kingdom called Prospit, and hang out with people there. I'd wake up with these fuzzy, half-remembered feelings of happiness, and visions of the future swirling around in my head. It was nice. It was a good life. But there was this very lonely feeling that I couldn't make go away no matter what I did. I would always tell myself, soon, Jade, soon it'll all change. You'll get to travel to Prospect in your waking hours, and you'll meet your friends in person. You'll finally begin to live. Like, really live. It's like... What's really sad is that, like, even in Homestuck proper, she never really got to do this. You know? Like, kind of the one time Jade, like, had a real social life was in the 3 years that she spent traveling with John, and those got retconned out of existence. I waited days, months, years for the day to finally arrive, and then it never came. I was so sure it would come on John's birthday. All my dreams told me so, all of the signs were there, but it just didn't happen. And now I don't know what to do with myself. I was able to ignore the lonely feeling because I knew it would disappear one day. But now that day has slipped me by, and it's like all those years are catching up and crashing down at me at once, and I feel so small and helpless. The loneliest girl in the world. So, remember that, what was it called? That game that, crap. Remember that game that Temmie made a while back? I streamed it, Escape Chasm. How, like, the girl there was very Jade-like. And now here, Jade is being even more Escaped Chasm-y than she was before. It's like the loneliest girl in the world. I don't want to put all this on you. Alright, it's your time to build a happy ending yourself. I don't want to put all this on you. That wouldn't be very nice, but it's just... It's not fair! Jade vaults from the bed and stamps her feet on the ground hard. Her face is flushed and streaked with tears and snot. She looks awful, frankly, like someone who's been holding it in for far too long. Beck gets up and starts licking her cheeks, and she holds him off until she can wipe her face on her sleeve. Thanks, Beck. At least I've got you for a best friend, right? Aw, good dog. Best friend. Jade settles down on the bed, stroking Beck's fur softly. I've got a lot of complicated feelings about all this, I guess. So complicated and painful, I'd rather just pretend everything is okay. Excuse me. But now I can't pretend anymore, and these feelings are all that's left. I hate feeling so glum. I hate staying around being all sad and useless. It's stupid and pointless and a waste of my fucking energy, and it's not who I am, and I'm just dumping all this on you. I'm sorry. I really am. Is this route, like, not even going to have a failure route state? Is this just... Because we are really deep into, like... We're like, digging hard into Jade's storyline, and we haven't even gotten to, like, the final choice of the game yet. And it's been an hour. We're getting... Man, you just completely fucked up this girl's life, and she's apologizing to you? Whoops. Now you feel like the delicate, delicious, three-layered shithead tiramisu served right after that nice meal of steak and potatoes you had earlier. You really want to help Jade. And while you still don't quite get all of it, while you still don't quite get all of this magical moon stuff she's been talking about, you do get how it feels to be lonely. That's something you can help with. You offer her your hand. Want to see the world? I can show you the world. No, wait, no. I got a better one. Someday Somehow. She sniffles and lightly shakes her head. It's not going to work. Well, there's no way to know that unless you give it a try, right? She nods, stands up, and takes her hand. Oh. Interesting. You focus on a familiar destination, John's house. As you begin to dematerialize, Beck turns to stare at you, and you hear the familiar barking sound in your ears. And when the flash of light subsides, you're standing here in Jade's room, only a few feet from where you started? What? God damn it, Beck. See, I told you it wouldn't work. Come on, let me show you something. Okay. How are we going to get Beck out of this? Jade hops up and shuffles down the staircase, and you follow. She takes you to the teleporter pad in the atrium. These transportalizers are all powered by thermal energy and use each other as beacons for the sake of easy short-range teleportation. But if you hook one of them up to a uranium converter and modify the coordinates specified in the logic board, you can theoretically go anywhere in the world. Which I tried, see? She twists the top of the pad with her fingertips and pulls it off, and shows you the wiring underneath. It looks messy, like someone has made multiple attempts to rewire the circuits. Whoops. But when I used it, it only led to the exact same thing that happened just now. Beck used his powers to prevent me from leaving the island. Bad dog. Maybe I got the coordinates wrong and I would have ended up stuck underground or something, but I checked and double-checked my measurements. I think Beck just doesn't want me to leave the island. He wants me to stay somewhere he can keep me safe at all times. Perhaps he heard his name up above, or perhaps he just has a sixth sense about it, because Beck wanders down the staircase and over to Jade. She gives him a soft stroke behind the ears. I love him very much, but as long as he's around I'm stuck here. Because of the changes you mean, that's how it will always be. Oh. This got grim. Oh dear. I'm just going to have to get used to it now, I guess. Jade deflates against one of her gardening tables and offers you a wan smile. For a split second, you could swear you see droopy dog ears and a tail tucking between her legs. Depression to this degree simply is not conducive to friendship, and even if it was, you would still feel pretty shitty about it. You should do something to cheer her up. It's like, I bet you did. I bet like you wouldn't even have to have seen my eye line to see how that reaction went. It's just like, you see these words. I want this to work so badly. I know this will end, but I know this can't possibly work, but I want it to so badly. It seems to you that the cause of Jade's problems, even though he's probably not hurting her on purpose, is Becuriel. He's a good dog, and he wants to protect her, but the time for that has passed. Jade has a new omnipotent friend in her life, and she's got places to be besides this island. If this works, I will be so happy. There's only one thing for you to do. You need to establish yourself as the new alpha of the pack. You must win the right to escape Jade to visit her friends. This is how dogs work, right? Yes, it is. It definitely is. You think? You square up, bend your knees, and tense your palms. What are you doing? Don't worry about it, you tell Jade. You're practically an expert in Lucius wrangling techniques by now. In what techniques? In what techniques? She shouts behind you, but you're already charging? Oh. Haven't we died like every time we've tried to fight Lucy? We did die to Lucy multiple times across the Friend Sims. I distinctly remember this. Oh, this is great. Beck doesn't see it coming at all. Perhaps because it's such a spectacularly stupid thing to do. You go tumbling to the ground with him and manage to pin him. You know exactly what to do now. There's only one possible course of action, and it has been inculated with such mimetic gravity that you are entirely certain it will work as intended. Punch Beck in the snout to establish superiority. It's now. If we were trying to do this to Vriska, it would absolutely work. But Beck is not Vriska, so punching him in the face does not have the established mimetic expectation of success. You punch Beck in the snout to establish superiority and immediately realize it's not working as intended. He snarls and flares up in neon light, energy crackling around his body. You wince as heat washes over you as if you just opened an oven door, and your arm hairs stand stiff in electric terror. What were you thinking? This is a fight you can't win! Oh God! Beck lunges at you and sinks his fangs into you. You yelp, pain spluttering your sight, radioactive fire roaring up your arm. Oh! You yank yourself away and instinctively try to teleport, but as you disappear, Beck's teeth catch your shoulder and hang on tight. Ooh. The two of you go hurtling through the nothingness, and you're pretty sure you've left blood splatters in some meta-narrative construct, like a website scroll bar, or the right pen debug screen, or some shit. Eventually, you come exploding back into canon and bounce off a purple spire in an ungainly smack, dislodging Beck in the process. This is not the appropriate music for this situation. First blood, yeah. Tumble into a bridge and scatter some dudes in goofy jester outfits. And why would they be in jester outfits if we never... Never mind. Or maybe we are like an actual canon now, and Beck lands in front of you. Good boy? We call it even here? He snarls, and green flames crack the stone beneath his feet. So watch for that. You throw up your arms in front of your face and squeeze your eyes shut as Beck lunges you, but you don't feel the sting of his fangs against your flesh. Instead, you feel the singularly odd sensation of your body passing right through Beck's, as though you have just had a window thrown at you, like a reverse defenstration, refenstration, unfenstration. Oh God! He just throws into the green sun. The world beyond your eyelids strobes green, and when you open your eyes, you find yourself staring into a massive verdant sun. You think that when Bet went for the kill, you must have passed through him as his power surged? It was pure dumb luck. You can't imagine what kind of precise timing it would take to pull that off on purpose. The good news is that you're alive, but blood loss is really doing a number on you and you can't focus your powers. Your vision flickers at the edges and there's a ring in your ears louder than the flickering flames of the sun. You only just barely hear a voice from behind you as your eyes glaze over. Oh, what voice? What voice? Who's this douchebag? Oh. Solix. Not to... Blind Solix, too. Solix, be nice. This douchebag looks very injured. Aradia! Hey! Oh. I think they're going to have to restart and start again and try again. Better luck next time. Ooh. Oh. Minda, does this even have a failure route? MSPA reader. Have you forgotten what an incredible dumbass I can be? Good point. Best game over screen? I don't know. It's... Dirk hurling us out of a window was a pretty good game over screen, too, I gotta say. Like, we've had some pretty hilarious game overs in this route already. Whew. Oh, I really did want that to work, though, just because I wanted to get Jade off that fucking island. Oh. Oh, Aradia's face. I love it. Whew. You know, although, like, in all seriousness now, I do kind of wonder, like, if we had, like, actually mastered our retcon powers, like, if either us or John had, like, mastered retcon ability, I wonder how they really could stand up to a first Guardian. Like, really, you know, because, because I bet, like, if you got good enough at the retcon thing, you really could, like, go toe-to-toe with Beck, if you really tried. Anyway, explore. You present your most finely honed smile of confidence and urge Jade to stand. This is no time to mope around. There's plenty of fun to be found without leaving this island. You suggest that perhaps with your help you can give her the opportunity to explore that temple she's always been curious about. Really? That'd be super fun. But what about Beck? Oh, there's nothing to worry about there. You have a genius plan, you tell her. You tell her to just head over to the temple and you'll take care of the rest. Okay, if you say so. But please don't do anything to hurt Beck, okay? I love him to bits. Oh yeah, we can hurt Beck. That's seriously a thing that could happen. Right. You wouldn't dream of it. Not on this route, at least. Jade transportalizes downward, and you turn your attention to Beck, who is idly sniffing one of Jade's plants. You advance on him slowly and with intent. You know what must be done. Pet the dog. You just get right in there, you pet the hell out of this dog, you employ all of your strongest pepper techs, but use the quick scritch up, the main massage, and the rare Cuddle Brand EX Dog Smite. Doge Smite. Somewhere in the distance, a bluebird observes your masterful displays and chirps happily. But suddenly, Beck's head snaps up and he points his snout in the direction of the temple. Whoa there, buddy. There's no time to be thinking about Jade. Now is belly scritch's time. You start rubbing Beck's stomach and he flops onto his back with his tail wagging and his feet curled up. Who's a good boy? Beck looks up at you and you see the cosmos reflected in his deep, piercing eyes. Well, what eyes? And you understand, he's a good boy, and he knows it. After a little longer spent threading your fingers through his silky fur, Beck curls up beside you and yawns, starting to nod off. You kiss him on the forehead and then take the opportunity to slowly stand up and exit the room, letting the sleeping dog lie. You're a little worried about alerting Beck by using your powers. He seems to be pretty keyed into that kind of space-time manipulation, so you just take the long route to the temple. Jade's Island is a very beautiful place, with rolling hills and lush sun-beached plains. It looks like an excellent vacation destination, but it's also so bare. There's nothing and nobody around except for the hollow whispers of the wind. You can see how this place would feel much less like paradise after years spent stranded here. When you reach the lake surrounding the temple, you see that the giant lily pads outside have arranged themselves into a walkway that you can use to reach it. How strange and convenient. You channel your hitter frog and hop across. Lord will be happy. Hey! Up here! Jade calls down to you. She's at the temple entrance far above your head, waving down at you. Grooves carved into the wall form a ladder that you can use to climb up, and soon you're standing beside her at the entrance to the temple. A huge imposing archway marks the ingress between this sunny island and the dark interior of the ruin. From within, you can see a faint yellow-green glow that seems to come from runes carved into the walls. Spooky. As you proceed through the entryway, Jade runs a hand along the glowing walls, her face bathed in the sickly green. At the end of the hallway is a large round platform decorated with cloudy designs and a glowing orb in the center. It doesn't pique your inner interior decorator, but Jade seems quite awed by the sight. This is Skyia. I knew this temple had to be connected to that world in some way. Jade rushes onto the platform and begins to descend. You quickly follow her before you're left behind, as the elevator takes you down to an expansive and dark room below. Oh, look at that. Much like the rest of the temple, the space seems very sparse, and it is illuminated by the faint glow of the runes on the wall. Is that the one that... I forgot if that's the lily pad that Beck Noir is in. No. What was in that one? In this one? I forgot which... It wasn't Beck. It was... This is going to bug me now because, like, there were several of these flowers and I forgot which is which. And yeah, time is frozen at 4:13 again. Dave's game, that was it, yeah. Yeah, Dave's copy of the game, which he needed at some point. A large purple lotus flower rests atop a pedestal in front of the elevator, petals wilted. There's an electronic display built into the pedestal with a timer that could feasibly count down for millions of years, but it seems to be glitched, stuck a few hours away from zero with the seconds digit constantly ratcheting back and forth between two numbers. Jade places a hand on the pedestal and sighs. The number is stuck. I think this is a time capsule, but it's malfunctioning for some reason. Was I supposed to open it when the time was right? Now I'll never know. What else could this place be hiding from me? As if on cue, the elevator platform shudders and begins to rise behind you. As the platform ascends, it becomes clear that there is a pit beneath it, which is basically video game logic 101. Jade looks down into it, and you follow suit to see... Transportalizers? Oh yeah, the transportalizers to Juris and Prospect. Oh, we're gonna take her to Prospect! I think this is gonna be a happy ending after all. There's two of them, one a deep purple and the other a brilliant gold. Jade leaps down into the pit, which is a pretty brave maneuver considering it's deep as hell and real life still has fall damage. She grunts and sinks to her knees from the impact, but quickly recovers and rushes over to the golden transportalizer. She examines it for a moment and then clambers on. With a soft click, the pressure plate is pressed and the device surges to life. She disappears in a bright flash of light. Well, shit, you better follow her. You hop down and step onto the transportalizer, and the same flash of light consumes your body. Yay! You feel something like wind whipping around you as your molecules are dematerialized and then reassembled in a new locale, a glimmering golden palace. Wow, this place is too fucking bright. Someone needs to crank the saturation down pronto. I love how this is clearly the exact same background from when we were on Durst in the other route, just gold instead of purple. And with Sky in the background, or the battlefield, rather. I don't believe it. Does Prospect have air? Yeah, well, I mean, like, the people like fly through space between the planets, no problem, even when they're not dead. Even before they become gods, it's just sort of a thing they can do. Jade is looking around with wide eyes that reflect her golden surroundings. This is it. This is Prospect, the planet I visited in my dreams. I didn't think it was possible to get here like this. What does it mean? Why am I allowed to be here right now? I should go talk to the Queen. I wonder if her dream self is still... Oh, please, I feel like we're wrapping up here, but I really want us to, like, take a detour and go see Jade's dream self. Because that's gotta be weird, right? It's gotta be a thing that doesn't often happen in Spurred games, where you just, like, visibly go and find your dream self. And with that, she's off, sprinting down the halls with a renewed sense of vigor. Beck can't warp in and out of this session, too. Yeah, it's like she's home free. You scramble to keep up with her, threading your way through crowds of confused white-shelled folk in fancy outfits. They kind of remind you of yourself, but with chitinous bodies. You sidestep a lady carrying a pink can and shuffle down a lengthy golden staircase adorned with regal golden spikes. Bye, Miss Paint! You can only barely keep your eyes on Jade's long black hair as it swishes behind her. When you finally catch up, she's in the middle of an argument with two burly fellows in white suits. She stamps her foot at them, but they are undeterred, blocking her passage further. Eventually, Jade wheels around to look at you. She tries to soften her expression for your sake, but her face is still sour. Urgh! The guards won't let me see the queen. Apparently, she's really busy with something. They told me I'm not supposed to be here, and I have to leave right away. This is totally bull. I'm a princess! I swear some of these idiots can't even recognize me without the pretty golden dress. I mean, he's probably right. Ugh, guess I'm not getting any answers here either. Let's just get out of here. Oh. And she's off again, this time striding forward with her fists curled and her jaw set. You glance back at the guards, whose furrowed brows striking more as worry than ire, and then follow Jade back. You're almost to the exit when you see it. A dark figure silhouetted against sky's brilliant blue. They are humanoid in shape, with two leathery wings outstretched and inky black tendrils trailing behind. Crimson forces crackle in their wake, and they swoop over the city like a bird of prey. Oh. Oh, shit. Oh. Jade, I think we came at a bad time. Something about them gives you a major case of the heebie-jeebies. You do a nervous little half-jog back to the transportalizer and get the hell out of Dodge. So how is it that... So, yeah. So this is an interesting question, because, like, somehow the game seems to be going along even without them. You know, like, we just saw a Bec Noir. Like, that's what that was. So how did... How? Like, even by Homestuck's weird time shenanigan rules, this is weird. This is weird, man. The temple feels oppressively dark compared to the blinding bright of Prospect. You spend a while blinking as your eyes readjust. The transportalizer you just uses flares up red and then cracks. That's probably not a good sign, is it? You do what you do best. Ignore it and climb out of the pit. Oof. That's... oh, shit. Well, so much for that happy ending I was hoping for. Jade is standing beside the Lotus contraption, running her hand along one of the pedals with her face set. What does it all mean? Was this here all along? Has my grandpa been to Prospect before? If I can go there, it must still exist. The game must still exist, but how? None of it makes any sense. I need to think about this. You follow Jade slowly behind her, back to her house as she mumbles to herself, brow furrowed. You can barely catch what she's saying, but she's clearly thinking hard. The clouds have never been wrong before. Is it too early? Was this meant to happen? No, it was not. Once you reach the atrium, Jade lets out a sharp breath and nods her hand. Resolute, she turns to you. Alright, I think I understand. I know what's going on now. If you do, please fill us in, because... fuck if I know. I'm a light player, I feel like I should be good at this, but I have no fucking clue. Great! You offer her your most winning smile. What's the sitch? Well, the truth is, I was always being very immature about the idea of being a hero and having a destiny. Life isn't like in kids' cartoons, after all. Heroism isn't all rainbows and sunshines, and it's childish to think that everybody gets a happy ending. That kind of storybook stuff doesn't really exist. To be a real hero, you have to be prepared to suffer horribly. It's not wrong. It makes sense when you think about it. If anything came easy, there wouldn't actually be anything heroic about it. Why else would my grandpa have put me on this island? Why else would Beck want to keep me safe here now, even now that everything's changed? It's because it's my destiny. I have to prove that I'm willing to suffer and willing to sacrifice. That has to be it. This can't have all been for nothing, right? That's not the way the world works. Everything has a purpose, even if it's not clear at first. Seeing Prosper in the flesh reminded me of that. My purpose is to do what I've always done, what my grandpa and Beck have helped prepare me for. I know I'll be really lonely. but in the end it means everything will continue to play out the way it was meant to. It's a very noble job, and I've got to be the one to do it. You're at a loss for words. This really doesn't feel like the right takeaway from all this, but you don't know jack about Spurb or Destiny or any of that nonsense, so who are you to say otherwise? So, thank you for helping me visit Prospect. I wouldn't have figured this all out if not for you, and I'm sure that meeting me is one step along the way towards your mysterious fate as well. I'll be rooting for you. Jade erupts into a broad, beaming smile. It might be the first completely genuine smile you've seen from her this entire time, but that doesn't make you feel any better about it. In fact, it's more like a knife twisting your gut, and when she throws her arms around you and hugs you tight, the knife pushes deeper to the bone. Well, you probably have more important stuff to do than keep hanging out with me. I'll let you get back to it. Jade turns around and heads for the staircase, leaving you to stare at her retreating form. Is this it? Will you accept the new destiny you've written for Jade and allow her to stay trapped here on this island? No. Fuck this. Some people might take this as a lesson in the responsible use of reality-altering powers. Some people might swear off manipulating canon entirely, but not you. What's the point of having sick-ass powers at all if you never use them? Oh, we are going water on Mars on this bitch. Fuck you. Maybe some god is going to punish you for the way you've been fucking with the universe, but right now you don't care. This girl would burn herself to ashes to keep her friends warm. The least you can do is risk the flame for her sake. Oh, that's a good fucking line. Even if this ends badly, I'm all for it. If this ends up being a bad ending, I don't care. This is just me going on instinct. I don't care if this is the bad ending. This is my ending. This is what we're doing. This is how this ends. You quickly sprint up the stairs. Oh, you're not leaving? Don't you have places to be? You'll be fine. I'll be fine here alone, I promise. It's my duty. I'll get used to it eventually. You can't imagine she's okay with that, no matter what she says. Does she really want to stay alone for the rest of her life? Well, of course not. What I want to do is explore the world and hang out with all my pals. But it's not about what I want. It's about doing what has to be done. It's what it's always been about for me. Well, that's bullshit. Huh? Maybe Jade's fate dictates she never played the game and she wanted to play. Maybe heroes don't get a happy ending, but that doesn't mean heroes can't be happy. There comes a time in every young woman's life, you tell Jade, where she can't leave home because her pet is an overprotective god. What? Okay, that's obviously not true, but there comes a time in many young women's lives where circumstances beyond their control leave them without an escape. Perhaps it is easier to believe that the escape will never come, but you can't let Jade do that. When life has you stuck, at home perhaps, you can still hold on to hope. You can fight, no matter how long you have to wait. You can keep looking for another chance to see the world. And if the universe tells you to sit, stay, and roll over, you look the universe dead in the eyes and ask, who do you think is the master around here? And then you tell it to motherfucking heal. This is very reminiscent of Calliope's speech to Jade from near the end of Homestuck. It's like, this is the job of space. This is the job of the space player to lay back, set the stage, and when the time comes, come roaring back into the picture and remind them all who the real master is. Yeah. You're right. Even now, I was still being childish. It was easier to tell myself to be miserable for a noble cause instead of holding on to hope and maybe getting hurt again. But I have to have hope. That's who I am. I'm a hoper, not a moper. I'll keep trying to convince Beck that it'll be safe for me to leave the island. Things have changed, and maybe he doesn't realize it yet. He's kind of a big, silly, dumb dog at times, but he loves me and I love him, and we can work it out. Maybe it'll take a while, but I'll definitely figure things out. And while I wait, you'll come visit me sometimes, won't you? Of course you will. You're not in the habit of abandoning your friends. The idea is unthinkable. Well, yeah, I mean, until Doc Scratch ripped us out of ripped us out of that whole situation. Like, we did go back and visit old friends from time to time throughout the friend sim, so it's really not like... It really is not that out there to assume that, you know, we could come back and visit Jade, assuming like, we are capable of it. You promised Jade that you will come and visit her? Come visit. Come visit! A light bulb goes off in your head. One of those cool LED bulbs, the kind that syncs up to your phone and changes color and spies on you for the government. Party time! You ask Jade if she's ever had a slumber party. A slumber party? No, I've never had one. It sounds exciting, but, is it really a party if there's just 2 people and a dog? That sounds more like a mild slumber hangout. Don't worry about it, you tell her. Just start getting the place ready for a bash. Pull out the sleeping bags. Are we bringing everybody together? Are we doing this? Don't worry about it, you tell her. Just start getting the place ready for a bash. Pull out the sleeping bags. Conjure up some lightly irradiated snacks. Pump up the flesh jams, etc., etc. I don't know if we even have sleeping bags, but okay. I'll see what I can do. Maybe there's something useful in my grandpa's old supplies. You shoot her a confident salute, and then dissolve into the ether of cannon. Good. Alright, Egbert, I'm up and it's party time! We just... Okay, I just gotta... It looks like we drank John off camera by the ankles. It's like the Hulk and Loki just... John yelps and tumbles out of his chair, cranking to the ground in an undignified heap. It looks like he was in the middle of debugging some code in his computer when you interrupted him. He disentangles his limbs and stands up with a groan. Okay, Magic Mailman, we need to get some things straight. Your powers are extremely cool, but using them like this is kind of lame. Also, holy shit, this is a long route. I just looked at the time and noticed we've been going for an hour and a half, and we're not even done yet. And like not only that, but like both failure routes we've had so far were really short. You know, they were like 5-minute detours at most. So like this route is almost an hour and a half long, and we're still going. Jesus Christ. Your powers are extremely cool, but using them like that is kind of lame. Jump scares rank very low on the prank scale. They just don't take any effort. They're just sort of mean and annoying. You apologize for scaring John. You're just in a very excited mood right now because it's time for a mother-fucking slumber party. Oh, cool. I've never been to a slumber party before. John's theme is playing. It's nice. Who's it with? You grin. Don't you already know who with, John? The American Association of Mailmen? You give him a blank stare. John still thinks we're a fucking mailman. Forgot John still thinks we're a fucking mailman after everything we've been... Oh, John, I love you. Don't never change. Actually, no, I mean, you're free to change, but God, I love you. Oh, right. Obviously my other friends. that one should have been obvious. There you go, John. You tell him to pack up whatever supplies he thinks he should bring and then get ready for another whirlwind ride through space-time. I don't know. I should probably do the responsible thing and let my dad know I'm going on a trip, even if I will be back soon. Okay, that's fine, you tell him, but don't take too much time. This route's already getting pretty long. No shit. Okay, cool. What should I bring? Okay, I need to grab some movies, definitely. Dave will be there, right? I should bring some I should bring some McConaughey movies so he realizes I was right all along about Matthew's stellar acting. Oh, and of course some snacks. This is a great time for me to unload all the excess birthday cakes my dad made me. Seriously, there are hundreds of them in the fridge. This is highly ridiculous. You wait patiently in John's room as he goes downstairs to fetch his bounty of cakes, talk with his dad, and do all of his other preparations. It takes forever. You're not really sure what he's doing down there. You think he might just be walking around, examining all of the objects in his home in great detail and solving a bunch of puzzles? Come on, John. This is not the right genre of game. Get your shit together. That's right. We've heard this story. Don't really like how it ends. Okay, ready. Alright, step 2 is to go get Rose. You take John's hand and zap the two of you into Rose's mansion. John spends a while goggling at the giant statue of Zaserpan the Learned. Then you ascend the staircase towards Rose's room and knock on the door. And now Rose's theme is playing. Oh, this is like a we're going to do like a whirlwind tour of the soundtrack musics. Then you ascend the staircase towards Rose's room and knock on the door. Her voice comes from within, slightly muffled. You're home early. Been hearing strange noises from the neighboring lab of late. Have you? Rose opens the door and freezes. John? Where people are together. Oh, this was so. It took the kids like 6.5 acts to get all in one place in Homestuck proper, and we're here. People are here talking to each other. Her eyes widen as she slowly steps backwards, which John takes as an invitation to slide into her room. Her cheeks darken and she scans the room, eyes flickering from mess to mess. Surprise, Rose! We're here to steal you away, like the owl who kidnaps Harry Potter. That's not what happens. That's not... Zero jokes! She sighs and turns to you. Care to explain the sudden intrusion? It's normally considered polite to call ahead, especially when one is possessed of reality-bending powers. Especially when one is possessed of reality-bending powers. Oh god. I'm almost out of water again. Jesus. Oh, don't be melodramatic. There's probably nothing too embarrassing in this room. Oh, John. John furrows his brow as he glances around the room, eyes sweeping over the walls. He eventually settles on some pictures that have been hung up. Okay, I need more water. Hang on. This is great. It's best route. I think I'm not even going to do the other failure route. Like, not seriously. I think I'm probably just going to, like, skip ahead to see how depressing the game over screen looks, because I do not... Because I don't want it. I don't want to do it. Not after this. I'm not going to bring myself down with that bullshit. John furrows his brow as he glances around. Furrows his brow as he glances across the room, eyes sweeping over the walls. He eventually settles on some pictures that have been hung up. I mean, look at these great drawings. Did you do those? That's so cool. I didn't know you drew stuff. Rose gives him the smile of a girl whose soul has just shriveled into a blackened husk. Oh no! No! My friends know I draw fan art. No! Again, an explanation would be nice. You explain that you've come to collect Jade's friends for a slumber party. Why not save here and do the bad right now and then come back to a good right? Good idea! Yeah, that's a good idea. Actually, no. Here, we'll do that when we go get Dave. We'll take a break at the next transition. You explain that you've come to collect Jade's friends for a slumber party. I see. The commercial and critical failure of Spur must have impacted her more strongly than I anticipated. You could say that. She was really looking forward to playing that game with us. Yeah, that's putting it lightly, probably. I would hate to disappoint her further. Consider this my RSVP. Rose gives you a curt nod, and then turns to frown at John, who's poking around under her bed. Something tugs at the corner of the mouth. John, stop! You're gonna get yourself stabbed in the back with a sewing needle if you keep poking around down there. John, my mother is busy and will not be expected to return for a while. Why don't you and our strange friend go analyze her room instead? I need time to pack. Oh, okay, Rose. Whatever you say. Whatever you say. As a 2 words instead of 1. That is still... It's such a silly joke, but it is one of my favorite jokes from all of Homestuck. And it doesn't even work if you say it out loud, but like just like that whole conversation about It's like, it's not Dave Sprite, it's Dave Sprite. You know? That whole conversation is one of the funniest jokes to me. Mostly because it only works in writing. Anyway. Rose shoves you out of the room with more strength than you expected from a 13-year-old girl and shuts the door hard. Yeah, John just does that. Man, I hope Rose... Man... God, wrong voice. I have to do voices now. Man, I hope Rose realizes I was being serious when I said her drawings are good. I mean, it's... Rose has a hard time with sincerity. She'll get there eventually, maybe, depending on the timeline. They tease each other a lot, but she's still really cool. John's speaking loudly enough that Rose can almost certainly hear her from the other side of the door. You think he knows that, but you don't say anything, except to casually suggest that you and John go wait downstairs and admire all the ridiculous wizard art. He agrees. Yeah, okay. That is actually probably clever. It's like, because like this is probably the only way to like get through to Rose that John's being sincere, is to like make it seem like he's confessing something out of earshot, you know? Because like that's just the way Rose works. Is like, you can't tell her that you like her. You have to make her find out that you like her. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Or Rose might catch on that it's a trick. Yeah, it's possible. Whatever. He's doing his best. God, this house is so weird. Who needs a giant statue of a wizard? Where did they even get this? Oh, and speaking of weird, I didn't want to bring this up with Rose in case it's just some funny story I'm not in on, but what's with all the writing on her? Oh, he can see the writing! Hey! 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 John can see the writing on the wall. Even though we can't, which is weird. But John trails off as Rose descends the stairs with a neatly packed bag. Oh yeah, that does beg an interesting question, because we can't see it. Like, we really can't see it. So that's... File that away, because the fact that MSPA Reader can't see the writing at all is apparently a plot point. That's file that away for later, for whatever the meta plot of this whole thing ends up being. Shall we? We shall, you say. With a hand on each of their shoulders, you close your eyes and concentrate on the Strider apartment. Okay, we are going to take a break here at the Strider. We're going to take a break here, and we're going to go back and break our own hearts. Oh. Load. There we go. Yeah. People in chat are debating the efficacy of John's plan to get Rose over here, and I agree. I agree with the people saying in chat that it all kind of depends on execution. Like John can't be obvious that he wants Rose to overhear him complimenting her. Like he has to say it out of earshot so that she can hear him. But he can't be obvious about it, because if he's obvious about it, that's just as bad as him just outright telling her that she's great. Because then she won't believe it. Like she'll catch up. Like she'll think that it's insincere or something. You know. So like he has to do a good. He has to roll a high enough deception check. Basically, he has to lie about liking her, even though he's not lying about liking her. If that makes sense. Of course it doesn't. But this is Rose we're talking about, and there are like 6 layers that you have to peel through to get her soft, emotional, lovely core. Alright. Okay. Let's see how this goes. This is probably going to be a quick rip finish, because I imagine it's just going to be like... I imagine this is just going to be MSPA Reader leaving and feeling bad about it. So I can't imagine this is going to be a long detour. Wow. You're kind of a huge jerk, aren't you? Or maybe the narrative is a huge jerk, is what you would say. But now you're practically in charge of the narrative, so yeah, it's basically just you. But Jade seems healthy enough with her lot in life. Maybe she's better off this way, instead of whatever danger she would have gotten caught up in, and she played Spurb. Yeah, you just keep telling yourself. Excuse me. Yeah, you just keep telling yourself that. Okay, that is kind of hilarious. I mean, it's sad as fuck. I mean, how subliminally bad, sad that is kind of funny in a way. That's very Jade. Oh. It's also kind of meta that Jade is even able to do that, in a way. Oh. Alright. But enough of that. Enough of that. Back to Dave. You're aiming for the hallway outside the front door, but this power is still taking some getting used to, so you instead pop into existence right on top of Dave's bed. And everybody falls off the bed in a heap. With a bunch of duffel bags. Whatever. It's like this really is just like, it's just like Dave, it's like John Rose, a paper cutout of a man, and a bunch of duffel bags just came spilling off of Dave's bed in the middle of nowhere. And the JoJo pose is back. It's the JoJo pose of sexual self-examination. He's tapping away at something on his computer, and as soon as you appear, his entire body tenses up. You barely had a moment to react before Dave wheels around in his chair and flings a handful of shurikens at you. One of them grazes Rose's cheek so closely, a strand of pale hair flutters to the ground. She turns to look at the weapon now embedded in the wall and runs a finger along the edge of the blade, squinting. Oh, Jesus Christ. Wait, hang on. I gotta get Dave's voice now. The other problem I have, I have two big problems with doing Dave's voice. The first problem is that he's really hard to, like, read his tone when he has no punctuation. The other problem is that I'm just naturally way more expressive than Dave is, and trying to, like, put a cap on that is, you know, a challenge. Oh, Jesus Christ. What the fuck, man? Surprise! Okay, rule number 1 of time travel or dimension hopping, don't fucking pull this kind of shit. I should know. I mean, seriously. Under any other circumstances, I'd be shitting my fucking nuts off about the opportunity to chill with my best bro. But dude, you can't just drop a guy's besties in the middle of his room out of nowhere like this. This is an extreme social faux pas. You gotta give a guy some time to prepare. Oh, don't be melodramatic, Dave. I assure you, there's nothing present in this room that can make us think lesser of you. That almost sounds like a burn coming from Rose, which may be the point, because it's Rose. If Rose was scarred by the near-death experience that just now, she doesn't show it. She hops off the bed and glances around. If you left any pornography out, it will only serve to confirm the hypothesis I have already made. Just gonna twist that knife in a little harder. Dude, are these selfies? Are you doing the duck face in this one? Oh man, oh yeah, Dave's selfies. I remember Dave's selfies. Remember that one selfie of Dave at a Burger King and Homestuck tracked down that Burger King? Oh, for fuck's sake, John. You get a VIP all-access backstage pass, and the first thing you do is insult my stuff? Like some rowdy tool at the Nickelback concert rummaging through their closets instead of doing the musical world a favor and assassinating them? Oh, God. Gosh. You know, I was thinking about this today because I was actually listening to Nickelback on my way home from work. Because they're not a bad band. Like, the internet just turned on them one day. And they're not bad. They're really not. Like, they're average. They make average music. It's like, I used to listen to them all the time. It's like, they're great background music. Well, like, that's the other thing, too, is that, like, I only really listen to music for two reasons. And one is to, like, sit and listen to music. And the other is because, like, I need something in the background playing. And Nickelback is perfect something in the background playing music. And so, like, that's why they make millions of dollars, because millions of people need an album to play while they're doing dishes. Like, anyway, in conclusion, in conclusion, leave Nickelback alone. Well, yeah. You would do the same, dude. Touché. But anyway, aside from you, like, getting your grubby hands all over my pristine collection of cool swords, what the hell are y'all doing here? We're having a slumber party. Are you in? Oh, I don't know. Bro is basically always keeping tabs on me. Guy wants me to be safe, you know. Oh, it's... I know Bro is formidable, but if we can deal with Beck, we can deal with Bro, no problem. Or rather wants me to only be in the right kind of danger to teach me lessons about irony and being a dope-ass fucking ninja master. Now that we're doing voices, this route has gotten a lot more exhausting. It's also pretty intense supervision, is the point being made here. Was already getting some rank vibes from him after that little jaunt over to Olive Garden. Actually, the vibes have been off ever since John's B-Day, if I'm being honest. I don't know how he'd feel about me gallivanting off on some magic snooze adventure with Slappy the time-traveling mailman. Seems like the kind of thing that he'd take issue with. Oh, come on, he can't be that bad. What kind of guy wouldn't let his brother go hang out with his friends? Alright. Yeah, I guess. Be a pretty shitty kind of guy if he did that. Oh. You know. Oh. What can I say? What can I say about Dirk Strider at this point? Beck can keep us all safe. Yeah, maybe. Well, that's another interesting question. I wonder how Beck stacks up against Ultimate Dirk. Because Ultimate Dirk might crash this party too, and that would be a fucking thing. And I really just... It's like, give us a good Dirk back. It's like, I mean, there are several things I want from the continuing adventure of wherever the fuck the Homestuck epilogues go. But just, you know, give us a good Dirk. I want a good Dirk back. Be a pretty shitty kind of guy if he did that. A good Jane would be nice too, but I was never as attached to her, so I can, like, take that or leave it, but a less racist Jane would certainly be nice, I guess. Jesus. Wouldn't he? That was a little choppy. I wonder if that was supposed to be choppy, or was that like... Yeah, I think that was just a choppy animation there. Dave stares off in the middle distance for a while, glaring at the fourth wall. That he's just broken for a bit. Rose observes him intently. Look, Dave, I don't think it would feel right if we all had a big party and you weren't there. Jade would really miss you. As would we. Yeah. Dave glances furtively around the room as if he's expecting a camera to blink at him from one of the corners. Alright, I'm in. Let me just grab some sups. That's supplies for short. Hey mailman, what's Jade's hell dog like? I need to bring up one of my cool... Hey mailman, what's Jade's hell dog like? Do I need to bring one of these cool ass swords? Cool? John, please. These swords are like $5 Chinatown swords, aren't they? What? What? No. Okay, listen. While Dave grabs his stuff and John heckles him affectionately, Rose's attention has been drawn back to the shuriken Dave threw at her. You stroll over and ask her what's up. She responds with her own question. Have you been introduced to Dave's brother? Not yet. You've heard a lot about him, though. For the sake of diplomacy, you only briefly touch on the opinion you formed. He certainly seems like a fascinating man. The kind of individual whose brain I would love to pick apart, to find out just what twisted mechanisms fire off within its chambers. So that's what she's thinking about? Dave's bro? Rose chews on the bottom of her lip. Treading dangerous ground here. Not exactly, but an adjacent topic. I'm mulling over the ethical quandaries presented by the existence of powers esoteric. What? It's nothing to concern yourself with yet. We have a party to attend, apparently. And they gotta fix this jittering thing, because I don't know what it is about this scene, but all of the little... Everybody jitters around a bit when they move. Right. Dave is done packing up. You open both palms and suggest that everybody hold hands so you can best channel your powers. Really? We're holding hands. God, this is so lame. But he doesn't, and when he clasps John and Rose's hands, he shifts around and blushes faintly in a manner that suggests he doesn't really think it's so lame. In fact, he might think it's the opposite of lame. He may think it's rad. And he's right. Friendship is the raddest thing of them all. You're full of warm and fuzzy friend feelings as you teleport back to Jade's atrium. Wait, no, that's just the feeling of your body dissolving and reconstituting itself halfway across canon. They are very similar feelings. Poor bisexual Dave. John's face, though. Yeah, John's face was great with him heckling Dave. You head to the base of the staircase where you call out to Jade. Her guests have arrived, you tell her. Jade rushes down the stairs and nearly trips over her skirt. Her expression is tight and anxious, and when she sees your motley crew standing there, she freezes up. Her breath hitches in a half sob. You really did bring them. Oh, they're here! Oh god, I'm gonna cry. Oh, they're here! You're all here! Jay breaks into a wide grin and sprints forward, launching herself like a missile at her friends. John is the only one who failed his dex check. Dave throws himself bodily out of the way, and Rose takes an alarmed step back, leaving John to bear the full brunt of her affections. Okay, we need that that gif of the anime hug. You know the one? It's like the one where the guy just, like, curls himself off screen. Dave throws himself bodily out of the way, and Rose takes an alarmed step back, leaving John to bear the full brunt of her affections. She crashes into him, and the two of them go sprinting around and around as Jade laughs breathily. Oh, I'm gonna cry. We need this bit anime. Yes, we need all the fan art of this scene. Oh. Whoa, calm down there, Jade. Whoa, this is John. Whoa, calm down there, Jade. It's nice to see you, too. Oh, come here, cat. Good things are happening. Look at this kitty. Look at how good this is. Look at it. Oh, Jade. It's interesting. I just realized that Jade and John are the only two characters who have done the star eyes thing. Have you noticed that? And like she's doing it here, and then John does it here. It's my break. I use it as my break screen. You know, there's John doing it. You know. But yeah, it's funny that the two siblings are the ones who do the star eyes. It's nice to see you too. Tears are beating in her eyes as she squeezes him tight and then pecks his cheek with a soft kiss. Oh, John, I'm so happy to see you in person. In waking person and everything. Spent so much time watching. We've spent so much time watching you sleep. Phrasing. What? Jade swings around to look at her other two pals. Come on, you two. Get over here. We're having a 4 times hug combo right now. Aww. Rose and Dave cautiously step forward with Jay, with John's help. Just forward and Jay, with John's help, yanks them both into the tight embrace. She smooches them on the cheeks too. It's like, these two are not huggers. They are very much not huggers. I'm just noticing now that they're all staying together, I'm noticing that all 4 of them are slightly tinted to their own colors. Like, I don't know how well it goes over in Twitch, but like, Dave is slightly red, Rose is just slightly tinted purple, Jade is a little bit green, and John is a little bit blue. Like, I never noticed it before, like, when they were just off on their own and always the only person on camera. But now that they're all side by side, it's really obvious. Well, not obvious, but it's still subtle. But it is very apparent now. It's apparent. That's the word I was looking for. It's apparent now in a way that it really wasn't before. Anyway. Rose and Dave cautiously step forward with Jade, and Jade, with John's help, yanks them both into a tight embrace. She smooches them on the cheeks, too. Rose's face lights up with a blush, and Dave nearly goes catatonic. When Jade pulls back, she's clutching John's hand and tugging so hard she might pull the damn thing off. Come on, everyone. Let's go upstairs. I found a bunch of military-grade sleeping bags in Grandpa's old adventuring gear and set them up in my room. We can play with all my toys and jam out to some music and stay up all night chatting with each other and, oh my god, you're all here! This is really happening! Jade's next laugh verges on hysterical and she's got tears streaking down her cheeks. Dave looks a little perturbed. Oh wow, holy shit. It's cool. It's cool, Jade. No need to get so... like this. Kind of fucks me up seeing you cry. I'm trying to make this all about me. I mean, Dave, you're doing a horrible job of comforting her. Jade, come here. I shall hold you in my... Oh god, Rose. Jade, come here. I shall hold you in my arms. Pat. Oh, Rose. Rose walks over to Jade, extends her thumbs, and swipes them down Jade's teary face in a stiff mechanical motion. When she wraps her arms around Jade in an embrace that could generously be called a hug, but looks more like the precursor to an alien medical examination. Oh god, they're all so awkward. Oh, how do I hug? John boggles at the display. It's like, John, once again. It's like, you know, it's like, it really is kind of terrifying that John is the normal one. Just, John needs to teach them how to hug. None of you whack jobs know how to do this, oh my god. Come here, Jade. Aw, thank you, John. Siblings. Now come on, everyone, let's go! And so the party begins. Tales told, movies watched, and fun had aplenty. So many shenanigans happen, so many. Perhaps someday you will recount them all in detail. But before you know it, the energy in the room has fled alongside the sunlight. The moon and stars cast their pale gaze upon four supine friends, bundled up in sleeping bags and caught midway between slumber and wakefulness. Dave is rambling about some inane bullshit that nobody's paying any attention to, and Rose is attempting, quite terribly, to lecture John and Jade on the modern reinterpretation of Lovecraft's works. I think it's about time you bowed out. It's not that you haven't enjoyed chumming it up with these kids, but you feel kind of weird sticking around overnight. You can come back later. Besides, you've got places to go and sights to see. There's an entire golden moon out there full of potential friends that you knew nothing about before today. The universe beckons, and you are powerless to refuse. Oh, is this... Oh, here's a... I bet... I wonder... And hold the thought. I had a thought. We'll finish this up for you. You give Beck a little nod, like, hey, take care of these kids. Beck doesn't nod back because he's a dog, but you like to think he understands. As you quietly slip down the staircase and out of sight, you spare one last glance at the group and find a sigh escaping your lips. Everything that's happened here feels almost too good to be true. Can it last? Can this brazen wish fulfillment go unpunished? You find that hard to imagine. There is something fate-touched about these kids. You can feel it in your bones. As surely as the wind whispers through the trees or the stars dance through space, as surely as the turning clock will call the sunlight back again, these kids will never be free of the bullshit that hounds them. Yeah, but right here, right now, they are at peace. They have shared this one perfect moment together, and perhaps in the future there will be more betwixt the chaos. And maybe that's enough. Oh. Now, they're going to live on the island now, the fans have no regrets. I mean, Beck can still teleport them around when it's time for him to go home. Oh, there's... Look at these happy kids. I'm seriously crying right now. Oh my god. Oh, this is beautiful. So, let's just break this down for a minute, because there's clearly stuff to talk about. let's break this down. So we've got Dave and Jade exchanging personas, which is perfect. Jade's a dog, of course, and Dave is a tiger, which I think was a thing even before. Rose painting John's nails kind of alludes to the idea of June, which is also interesting. It's like, I talked about this before, too, where... I don't remember if I said this on camera or not, but I feel like one way or another, Pesterquest is going to lay the groundwork for whatever comes next in Homestuck, and that could mean Dave's shirt is cut. No, Dave's shirt isn't cut. It's just a fold. It's just a fold it's just a fold in his shirt. It's like, it's doing this because he's it's doing this thing because he's leaning over like that. It's just a crease. Okay. So I do think that Pesterquest is going to set up whatever comes next in the Homestuck main storyline, and that could include some foreshadowing for the concept of June Egbert coming into play, and this could be the first sign of that. Quote from James Roach: Now that you've all enjoyed the feel-good moment of catharsis with Volume 4, I hope you're prepared for the inevitable sinking dread of now having something to lose. I mean, yeah, and that's the other thing, too, was that in the very first chapter, the error message that happened when we started this whole adventure included, if you decoded the error message, the line of dialogue you got implied that Ultimate Dirk is watching this, or at least somehow aware of this. So, at some point, there is going to be a reckoning where... here where Ultimate Dirk comes in and tries to rip all this down because it's not part of the plan. And what happens at that point, I really have no idea. It's possible that the Pesterquest timeline will somehow be able to spin itself off into a safe corner of canon, non-canon, whatever you want to call it. But what happened, and then what happens after that? And this gets to something that I think kind of and I think that it's kind of important for this timeline to exist in order to stop Ultimate Dirk 2. Because, the whole concept of an Ultimate itself has always weirded me out a little bit, because it works as a concept for how different people... It works as a metaphor for how different people interpret different characters as they read a fictional story. But to suggest that there is, in fact, one singular Ultimate Dirk, the purest form of Dirk above all others, is just kind of antithetical to itself, really. It's like there is no one Dirk, because no two people will read the story and have the same takeaway about what his character means. And the same goes for every other character in Homestuck. There really is no one ultimate version. In fact, even within the story, there is no one ultimate version. It's like, the three Vriskas, Vriska, and Vriska Lalonde, are each very different in their own ways. And their differences are what make them interesting characters in their own rights. So I think a timeline outside of meat or candy existing somehow will be relevant to undoing whatever Ultimate Dirk is trying to do. And we'll just see how that plays out. It's like I don't have a clear idea of what shenanigans happen to get everybody together fighting Dirk, but I do kind of want just basically the Avengers Endgame scene of characters from many different routes and timelines coming together to say, no, we all have the right to exist in our own little world. We're not beholden to any one canon, which I think that does seem to be the direction that they're going with this. That's kind of if you've read what Hussey has said behind the scenes about the themes of the epilogues, I think that is kind of what they're going for, is that the idea that there is no one ultimate truth for these characters outside of canon, outside the 7 acts of Homestuck. These characters can exist in whatever state we want them to, and so it's kind of up to us, and in the story it'll be up to them to determine what that is and how they're going to get there. Anyway, so that was great, and that took 2 fucking hours on one route. Holy shit, that was amazing. So yeah, the next time we meet, we'll be meeting Carcat probably. And that was my last thought that I had a second ago. So I wonder if that's how we're going to get to Alternia, because MSPA Reader suggested that they are... He's still wearing his hoodie, I love it. MSPA Reader said that suggested just now that he's going to go to Prospit. He's going to go to Prospit right as Bec Noir is in the middle of destroying it. Now, you may remember that Bec destroying Prospect in the B1 session eventually led to him going to the Troll session. So I wonder if we're basically going to follow Bec into Universe 2A, or A2? 2A. It's like, I wonder if that's what's going to happen now, if we're basically going to follow Bec Noir to the Troll session and start meeting them there. I don't think we'll, actually interact with the Trolls as they're playing their game. Well, actually, maybe. It would be really interesting if we interact with the Trolls in the middle of their session, because that time frame was very skimmed over. You know what I mean? The time that the Trolls were playing Spurb was very thinly alluded to. Most of the major events in that time were alluded to. We saw them enter, and then kind of flash forwarded to, and then by and large flash forwarded to when Bec Noir came in and ruined their session. So it could be interesting to see MSPA Reader interacting with the kids while they're in the thick of a game of Spurb, or maybe it'll be just like this section of the game, and we bop back in time further than that once we get there and interact with them all as younger kids. I don't know. Either way would be interesting. We'll see what happens. Either way, that'll happen next fortnight. So holy shit. That was amazing. Oh, and Tasty Salamanders missed part of the stream because their phone was calling them with scanners. Whew. And people are saying they hope that we get Canon Aridin, not shitty Fanon Aridin. Oh, I'm reasonably confident we'll get a good interpretation of Aridin. Reasonably. I mean, we'll see. Can't be worse than what the epilogues did to Dirk, right? Right? They've been pretty good so far. They can always fuck it up. That is true. And that's the other thing, too, is that Canon Aridin was, in fact, pretty shitty. So, yeah. Well, Gamgee's just going to be fun and weird. We're probably not going to interact with horror-stuck Gamgee at any point in this mess. I don't think. Probably not. There'll probably be, something alluding to it, but I don't think there'll be I think most of the Gamgee we deal with will be Stone Gamgee. So... And yeah, if V writes anything, it's going to be controversial just because of the nature of the way V writes shit. Anyway, let's not bring ourselves down with whatever controversy future routes could bring. Right now, we have this one perfect moment, and I just want to live in this moment. And so with that, I'm going to say goodnight, everybody. Bye-bye.